The new channel. The new channel.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, hello and welcome to the new channel. We're here to not only help you see the new you, but for you to be the new you. I'm Michelle Mras, live streaming from Orlando, Florida, USA, and you're watching Season 3, Episode 41 of Mental Shift. Well, hello. My guest tonight is an award-winning international coach, speaker, and expert trainer. In 2018, he was recognized by world-renowned leader expert Dr. John C. Maxwell as a coach, mentor, and speaker who values people and adds value to them. Tonight's guest is my friend right here, Nathan Cook.
It's so great to be here. it's so cool to be here, actually. Like physically in person. Like it's been 2 years since we've seen each other.
Now, the reason he's with me right now is because we are at the John Maxwell International Certification in Orlando, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Nathan, hey, we're going to be together. Why don't we just do the show together right here, right now? And he said yes.
Of course. Who can say no to Michelle Ross? Like that, you'd have to be crazy not to say yes to her.
You'd be crazy. Now, I have to explain how I met Nathan. I was on my way to my...
Wait, do you really want to tell this story? I don't think they need to know this, do they?
They need to know this.
Okay.
They need to know
Okay.
this. Because I was going to my very first John Maxwell conference. I didn't know anyone. I arrived very late at night at the airport, and I got on a shuttle bus with this man. And I'm incredibly nervous and serious, and I'm like, my name's Michelle, nice to meet you. And he goes, hello, my name is Bartholomew. And I believed him, and I called him Bartholomew through the entire ride there. And then when we got to the conference, hi Kim, when we got to the conference, I'm talking to him like his name is Bartholomew. And I said, I really met this really nice man on the bus, and his name is Bartholomew. And everyone's like, who's Bartholomew? I said, oh, you'll see him. He's a really nice guy. Well, they call him up on stage. In the John Maxwell conference, the stage is enormous. There's like 5,000 people in the audience. They say, Nathan Cook to the audio. Please welcome Nathan Cook. He goes up. And they say, Nathan Cook. And I get upset because I said, they just introduced Bartholomew wrong. And someone at the table says, who's Bartholomew? That's Nathan. I do know. His name is Bartholomew.
Oh, okay. To my credit, though, that was like a 6-hour flight, nonstop, going from Portland, Oregon, West Coast, all the way to the East Coast. I mean, I know that you're only like a time zone away from me. But that's a long flight, and to get in late, no. But it was, man, we have had such a great relationship where we just, she's like a sister to me. We talk often, and there are just people in your life when you meet them, when your paths cross. When you have two bright lights that come into a room, if you have like a flashlight, you can see one area of the room, and you have to kind of move around and you see the light. When you have two bright people come into a room, the entire room explodes with life, and you see everything around you. And that's what happens whenever we're in a room, whenever we're on a call, whenever we're talking. Things happen in our lives, and it's just been so cool to be on an adventure with you.
It's been wonderful to have you in my life. I mean, we've gone through a lot of changes together. We've experienced a lot of amazing transformations and mental shifts together in different platforms, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
We went to retreats together and things like that. And another story about Nathan is he's one of the wisest people I know. And I'm at a retreat with him, and I'm like pouring my heart out. I mean, he asked me some really deep, he's an amazing coach. So he's asking me these really deep questions, and he's pulling these things out of me that I don't even know are in me. And I get to a point and I'm crying because he just broke me into this new awareness. And then we were talking, and I said, how old are you? And he told me his age, and I'm like, you're the same age as my children.
I remember you saying that. And you know what's funny about that is
What?
my entire life I've heard that. I speak and people say, wow, like there are intelligent things coming out of your mouth. Where is this coming? Where's the speaker?
Where's this wisdom coming from?
Yeah. And truly when you tap into your creator and you allow your creator to speak through you, my goodness, the amazing things that can happen, but you have to be open to that.
Man of God.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the magic came in with Nathan, because I wanted to ask him about his mental shift, but he's been so grounded for so long, I don't even know if he even remembers he has one, because he is an old soul. I mean, if you want to know who I call, who am I going to call? When I'm having trauma or I can't process something, he's on my speed dial. Yeah. He's on my favorites list. And I'll say, Nathan, what are you up to? And he is, I was just about to call you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's funny because we were just talking about this the other day that, I can be going, we all go through things, right? And it doesn't matter how good you are. There will be a day where you just don't feel like wanting to, go and meet and interact with people and to be bright and encouraging. And what's funny is sometimes I have those days too. And you come out and you reach out and you say, hey, I just need some encouragement. And we get on a call and I'm just pouring into you and you're going, but how do you do this? and exactly what you say, you allow God to just flow through you and to be open to that.
Yes. And that's why I wanted Nathan here. I wanted you to meet my friend. And it's been 2 years since we've been able to get in the same place. And so we're here at the John Maxwell, the International Maxwell certification. And we are walking through and lighting up rooms and lifting other people up and bringing smiles to faces. And that's what we love to do, is to up-level other people. And I asked Nathan, this is a show called Mental Shift. We talk about people and ask them about, where in their life did they shift and how do they give back to the world? And what was your mental shift? You have many, I'm sure, but what pops into your head?
Immediately the first mental shift that kind of comes to mind was, it was over a long period of time. Specifically, I was in college. I'd gone into college. I was going into the medical field. I had done all medical prerequisites in high school. I was in advanced classes learning about Latin and learning all the different things. I was actually doing rotations in the hospital when I was in my senior year of high school. I don't think I've even told you this.
I've never learned this one. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and so I was bound to go to college to go into physical therapy. That's what I wanted to do. And I applied to 2 colleges in the United States, and as I was applying, I was like, well, I'm not gonna get into this other school because I don't think I have the credentials to really get in. So I applied to the one other school, which is in my town. I got accepted to both of them. Now, I got accepted to the first school like pretty much right away. The other school, I didn't even know about until literally a month before school started. And so all of a sudden now I'm doing this huge shift. I'm going, okay, well, I'm going somewhere else. I'm getting out of town. I'm going to learn. I'm going to plug in. This is the path that I'm going down. I was super excited. And then I had my first class in college, and it was awful. It was absolutely awful because I felt lost. I felt like I was just in a completely different environment and room. And my first mental shift, now we always talk about positive mental shifts, right?
Yes.
But there can be mental shifts in your life that cause you to regress into some pieces.
I love this. See, this is why he's here. Okay.
So I'm in my college class. It's my intro biology class. Like, you have to have biology. And so I'm doing my best. I'm studying. I'm reading the book. I just don't feel like I can read the book fast enough. I'm not understanding the content that I'm getting. And I remember going to my advisor, who was also my biology teacher at the time.
Oh.
Not a good idea. And I remember going in, and she looked at me and she said, I don't know how to help you. You're pretty much hopeless. You should probably just try something else. Go, you were going to minor in music. Just go do that.
Oh.
And because of that, I started looking at other places that I never even had talents, really. Through a number of different random happenstances, I ended up going into psychology, getting a bachelor's degree in psychology, graduating from college, and not really sure what I wanted to do with my life. Because everything that I had planned to do in my life as someone who is athletic and in sports and wanted to go into physical therapy, like, oh, that's where I'm going. And all of a sudden in my life, there was this mental shift for me that all the way up until that point, all the way up until I was probably 20 years old, it was always positive. I always had a bright outlook. And from that point, everything shifted, and I felt like I was never going to be enough.
Wow. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever had a shift in your life that you didn't anticipate because someone told you you're not good enough? Like he said, we really do talk about positive shifts that move us forward. But what a wonderful revelation. And thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. Because there's many of you out there who do have shifts like that go the other way. Actually, most of our mental shifts probably do start in the negative form, and then we have to positively charge them. And I'd like to say thank you to Marcel for joining, and Helene and Kim, and I saw Apple pop on. There's lots of you out there listening right now, and thank you for joining us. And if you can, please share this live stream. And because what's amazing about this is Nathan is my go-to person. And if you want to up-level your friends and help them grow, and you want to grow too, share the live stream right now, because we've only seen the beginning of Nathan. So Nathan, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I did not know that about you at all.
I'm full of mysteries.
You are a man of mystery.
But you know what's interesting is for about almost 5 years, I was in that mental state.
Oh.
When I learned about an opportunity to become a coach, speaker, and trainer with the John Maxwell team, I was working 6 jobs. I was working a security job. I was working with a gentleman who is autistic, taking him to work, taking him out in the community and doing things with him. I was also a gear manager for an outdoor recreation company where we would do whitewater kayaking and climbing and whitewater rafting, lots of fun things. I had a martial arts studio I was trying to get off the ground. I was leading worship for a church for children's ministry. And the list just keeps going. I was engaged at the time to my wife. I know that's not a job, but y'all know.
That's a job.
You all know that is a job, full-time job, where you want to make sure that you are supporting and just uplifting to your spouse. And I just remember one evening walking through the halls as I was doing security. I was drained. I was tired. You know, I'm pretty sure it was a weekend. And during my weekends, I would go and over the course of 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I would get roughly about 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Moving from one job to the next job to the next job, barely making it by. And a good friend of mine who I had talked to, he was actually on the medical response team at the job that I was working security for. He ran into me. He said, "Have you ever heard of John Maxwell? Yeah, you would love this guy. He's so amazing. I just got back from Palm Beach. You guys would be such a perfect match. You should join the team." And he poured into me, and he poured into a vision that I could not see.
He believed in you.
He believed in me, but not only that, he painted something in my life that I had never even considered. I'd never heard of someone who got paid to speak. I'd never heard of anyone, what was coaching? To me, coaching was, I was a wrestler, I was in martial arts, and the coach was the person that told you what to do. And that was my understanding, right? And then you actually go through coaching. This is amazing. Oh my gosh. It's so powerful. Transformation. And what's crazy about this story is even when it was presented to me, I still didn't think it was for me.
You weren't good enough?
I wasn't good enough. And here's the funny thing. The program I thought was amazing. It was worth the money. I wasn't.
That happens often.
I wasn't worth the investment. And so I went home. I remember talking to my spouse, soon-to-be spouse, and I was talking with her. And I'll never forget, she was an atheist when we first met. She became a believer. And 8 months after becoming a believer, and we're having this conversation, she says, "I believe God's calling you into this. I don't know how we're going to pay for it, but the money will come in."
Wow.
That's huge. That is huge. That is huge. And to understand, my wife walked away from faith. She walked away from faith for a decade. And for her to say that was mind-blowing.
Oh, that's huge.
So I poured in. I leaned in. I remember calling the person that was on the card, and I said, "I'm going to join the John Maxwell team." And they said, "Do you want to pay in full or do you want to pay in payments?" And I said, "I'm here. Let's pay in full." I didn't have the money. I put it on a card. And here's the funny thing. When I went to training, a week before I went to training, we received a check in the mail for the exact amount that I needed for my training from my father-in-law, who's a missionary in another country that does not make really any money. So the reason why I'm here is a shift in me, but it's also because God shifted things in my life, and I was willing and open to accept the changes that he was wanting to make in my life. And you know what? I know you want to say something.
Willing to jump.
I think that even right now, wherever you're at, God is trying to make a shift in your life, but you're trying to hold on. You're trying to hold on to the foundation, the comfortability. No, I don't want to shift. Like this feels good. This feels natural.
I don't want to shift because I'm comfortable. Or, like I want to say with you, that's what I was going to interrupt with this. You anticipate the person that you need to talk to, like his future spouse. She's an atheist or whatever. She's not going to believe, or he's not going to believe. And I'm not going to even ask. I'm not even going to say it because I know what they're going to say. If he had done that, he wouldn't be who he is today.
It's so good. It reminds me of a quote. George Bernard Shaw says that the greatest problem in communication today is the illusion that it's taken place. And right now, if you start to believe that you know what that person is going to respond with, how they're going to say, this is what I want, this is my dream, and you believe that they're going to shoot you down,
they're going to shoot you down.
They're going to shoot you down. But if you surround yourself with people that are encouraging and loving, and you share that with them, man, they are going to pour into your life and encourage you, just like you have in my life.
And just you've done for me.
Exactly.
I mean, just think, the other thing about Nathan, besides the fact that he's freaking awesome, is that if I judged him by his age, we would not be friends. There are people in your life, older and younger. We can learn no matter what. Don't let an age gap hold you back from such a fulfilling relationship. I love this man. He is wonderful, and he's always been there by my side when I'm going through tough times and when I'm going through great times. He's one of the very first people after my husband that I call and say, guess what just happened? Because he does that.
And it's so funny too, because I love your husband. And it's just like, when you were coming here, it's like, oh, you're going to spend time with Nathan, aren't you? And then you have another friend that's back home. Brian. And Brian said the same exact thing. Oh, you're going to go spend time with Nathan. You're never going to come home to us. But you know what's interesting is that when you're around someone else that is a giver, like we are givers naturally at heart. So we're bright lights, but we don't just keep the light inside, we give it. And when two givers that are bright lights come together, oh my gosh, it's a supercharge that happens in the world. And not only that, we get even more energized.
Yes.
We have to be careful not to stay up too late.
We're on the same team together here at the John Maxwell team. So we're basically the help desk. So people come to us and ask us questions, and we guide them and we cheer them up, and we're kind of running around bringing smiles to people's faces. It's torture for us.
It's hard. And you know what's really interesting too? It's not just the help desk. They call it the yes desk.
The yes desk.
And here's why this is important.
Oh yes.
Is that you have to have a positive attitude in order to be able to lead others.
I won that award at the same time you got your award.
Yeah. What was your award for?
Demonstrating a positive attitude.
Mine was seeing value in people and adding value to them.
So we are people of value who
see value in people
and
add value to them.
That is what we are. That's what we do. And so to have Nathan right by my side, I mean, are we energizing a lot of light up? I'm surprised we're not messing up.
I feel like if I touch the computer, it will probably explode at this point. If we go dark, it's because the lights in the hotel just like completely blew out.
So Nathan and I walk in and they're like, oh dear, here come the lights. Okay,
Oh
everybody ready?
Everyone hold on. In fact, when I landed here in Orlando, I remember you sent me a text. I felt the earth move. Are you here?
I felt the earth move under my feet. And he's like, oh, you're not that in tune. I was right. He had just landed.
Yeah, I had just landed. But this has been just such a highlight for us to even be together.
Yeah.
And, with the space of the world and where everything is right now, how important is it for you to plug into people who not only charge you, but who believe in you, who inspire you to take action, to keep on dreaming, to keep thinking that there are possibilities out there that you can move towards? Hey, the earth's not dead right now. It's still moving. Time's still moving forward. The question is are you continuing to move, or are you sitting behind and going, well, when things get better, then I'll start to lean into my dream. Then I'll start to talk to these people that I need to connect with in my community. Then I'll read a book.
They need you now.
They need you now. There is someone out in the world right now that is sitting in darkness, and that's all they can see.
And they're waiting for your voice,
And
your
they're-
reach.
And not only that, they're waiting for you to walk in with a light and say, come with me.
Some hope.
Mm-hmm. And what's great about that is when you light someone else's candle, then they can go light someone else's.
Yeah, you just pass on the torch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's also so beautiful about being together with Nathan again is he and I met singing. Well,
a
second
whole
time.
new world,
A whole new world
a dazzling place
I never knew. Yes, we were singing at a retreat, and I remember him as Bartholomew. Then we went to this retreat, and I met him again, and I was singing in the hallways, and he started singing with me. I'm like,
Well, I'm gonna hit pause too with that because
Okay.
you weren't singing loud.
I wasn't.
So I made a joke earlier. I think it was yesterday that I said this. I don't think you quite caught it, but I said I was the key that unlocked your voice.
He was.
Because I remember hearing her sing, and she was just. It was I would say I was classically trained for a little while.
Thank you, Apple.
Oh my gosh.
Very inspiring. She says those good.
I love that. And I remember you swallowing your words. You weren't projecting. And I walked up to you and I just started singing with you. And it was almost like a shocked look on your face, like someone else would be singing, not only with you, but loud.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a loud person. I don't know if you guys have caught that yet.
I'm kind of a loud person now.
And what's amazing about this is that when someone walks into your life and unlocks the key to a gift that you've been given, like Michelle's voice, like for the longest time, your gift was hidden from the world. And now, like today, prime example, so she's on the team with me. I'm like, hey, I need someone to run down to the photo booth. They need people to help out. You would be amazing. You are a bright personality. And she runs down there. And here's what I envisioned when I sent her down there. She's in the middle of the room singing, entertaining people. You're going to be amazing for your photos. Smile.
Because they're taking pictures with a microphone on stage.
Yeah. And what did I find? This gal in the middle of the room singing the instructions to the people on stage. Come a little bit forward, point over here.
Look to the left and then reach out your arm.
But here's the thing.
Picture completely, but haven't. So hopefully everything is good. We are on our hotel internet.
It's true.
And I'm afraid that a lot of people are on their phones right now. So if you are watching, yes, Helene, singing bring joy to the world. But a lot of people, when they get on stages and they're new to stages, they get very, very nervous.
Oh, yeah.
And oh, yes, Kim, you did miss it. I was standing in the middle of the room and singing directions and telling people, no, you can do it. Relax, just be free. And they all came off saying, okay, that was the most incredible experience ever.
In fact, they asked you to come back later on in the day. Like, she's supposed to be on my team, and they're trying to steal her from me. Once you have that light, you don't want to share with people.
No.
You need to share the light with people, though.
Yes, and that's why I wanted to share this light called Nathan Cook with all of you, because he is very special in my world, and I know he'd be very special in yours. So if you're interested in ever learning more about what Nathan Cook does, I want you to realize that you can find him at nathancookcoaching.com. And what's really, really cool about this is he's got long arms and I have short arms. And if you saw what we were doing so that I'm the same height as him, you would also laugh very, very hard.
But if for all of y'all that have, I don't know why I keep saying y'all.
Yeah.
I was in Texas literally for 2 days, and I came back with an accent.
Mm-hmm.
But what's crazy about Michelle, and you all know this, and we all know this because, I don't know, big things come in small packages. And this gal is bigger.
Firecracker! Okay, I won't.
I don't know that one song.
I don't either because I made up that song.
I was gonna say, what are you singing? And that's the crazy thing is we never realized this until we were in a room together, that she would actually just start singing like random things, like random words to random melodies. And I've never met anyone that did that, because I do that. It's amazing.
That's why I like him so much. So like I would say, next up is a commercial. Please stay tuned and wait. And if you'd like to, please share this live stream, because we're having a lot of fun and we've only just begun. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned. We'll go on our break, and when we come back, we'll continue with a little bit more of my friend Nathan Cook. Welcome. You are watching Mental Shift, and my name is Michelle Mras, and this is my guest, Nathan Cook. I just want to make sure that you understand that TNC is a live stream platform on online shows for people on the go. We're inviting you to watch all of our shows as seen on the screen. We aim to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our mission is to become a community where passionate people accept each other, share inspiration, and promote positive transformation. Our vision is to be a global 24/7 live stream channel that showcases Filipino talent, global influencers like Nathan here, cultural intelligence, and ingenuity. And of course, don't forget to always watch and support Mental Shift. And here we talk about our experiences and encourage each other to be unapologetic about ourselves and that the shifts that we've had in our lives. So my show is every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Right now we're in Florida, so it is 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And in the Philippines, Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. in the morning for Manila time. So if you miss any episodes, you can always go back and watch our replays. And if you would like to have, perhaps your own show, or if you'd like to sponsor my show, please contact our channel through private messaging. Now, for more upcoming shows, follow the hashtag TNCNow on Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms. And enjoy your life-changing shows because we made them for you. Yes, we are back with Mr. Nathan Cook, my dear friend from the John Maxwell team, and he is a inspirational, amazing speaker, but he's an amazing coach. And I wanted you all to meet him because he's got this je ne sais quoi, basically, of understanding people. And when I asked him about that, he said, well, I know DISC.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted him to share with us what is DISC, because DISC stands for something. It's an abbreviation for something else. What is it?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you asked because, in my life, I've always been we would call me a natural communicator. Now, natural communication doesn't really exist. You actually have to work on it. And for me, I've always been a communicator. I love talking, I like interacting, I love connecting with people. And one of the things that I found in my life was it was just really natural for me to do it. It's something that was a gift for me. But I didn't really understand why it was a gift for me. I didn't understand the mechanics of it. And so I went to a certification. I got certified as a trainer, as a consultant to be able to teach on a model of human behavior, which is essentially you can look at the behavior of a person and you can determine some of the behavioral characteristics of how they will respond in certain situations. And you can actually do this really easily by asking a few different questions.
Like what?
Like you can ask, are you more outgoing or are you more reserved? And just by asking that question alone, you can understand who the person is in front of you.
Okay, let's do it on me.
Okay, so Michelle, would you say you're more outgoing or reserved?
I'm outgoing.
She's very reserved. You can tell she's reserved. So because she's outgoing, she has this motor inside her. It's just constantly moving and going forward. In fact, for some of you, if you've ever been in a room with Michelle or if you've ever watched her on here, you've heard her motor because it sounds like this. And she's just going. She's like a sports car, just ready to cruise and go really, really fast. Now, reserved individuals, they're a little bit more calm. Their motor actually sounds a little bit like this. And every once in a while, you might excite them, and it sounds like this.
Okay.
Now, by understanding that, I can understand a lot about that person's personality. Like for example, I know that outgoing people like to have a lot of fun. They like to run around. They like to do things spontaneously. They're not really like, hey, let's sit down and think about this. They're more like, let's just go. Let's do it. Take my hand. Come with me.
And we'll be
In a world
of pure imagination.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the really interesting thing is if I know that about the person, I can start to shift and understand the way that they think. Same thing with a reserved individual. So, like, for example, if I was going to talk with Michelle on maybe something like, let's say I wanted to go to dinner with you.
Okay.
I could just say, Michelle, where do you want to go to dinner?
Let's go to.
What do you want to eat?
Yeah, I would answer immediately.
Yeah, immediately. No time to think. If she was reserved and I would ask her that same question, where do you want to go to eat? 5 hours later.
I don't know, because that price is kind of high, but that one's kind of far away, and I wouldn't. Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
think.
you would think through things. And what if you knew the way that the person behaved across the table from you?
Oh.
In fact, I just got back from a training in Texas, 4 days ago. And I was with some of the top dental practitioners here in the United States. And we're talking about personalities. We're talking about how do you interact with staff? How do you interact with your patients? How do you create an environment where people are comfortable?
So you did an exercise.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called?
I call it navigating the room.
Navigating the room.
Understanding who the people are in your room.
Now, the reason I wanted him to bring this all up, I wanted to bring it up with him, is because it's the keys to understanding human behavior. And you said that you can ask 4 different questions and kind of get a good idea of how to approach somebody for maybe a business agreement or a date or a friendship, whatever it is. He asked me that first question, right?
Yeah.
Am I outgoing, right?
Or reserved.
Or reserved?
Yeah.
What's the second question?
So you said 4 questions. I'm even going to cut it. It's a special deal. I'm going to give you 2 questions.
Okay.
In 2 questions, you can understand. Now, we don't do this to put a personality on someone, to put them in a box. We do this so we understand the person that's across from us.
Okay.
So, first question: are you more outgoing? Or are you more reserved? Second question: are you more task oriented? Or are you more people oriented? What do you focus on when we're having a conversation? Are you focused on relationships? Are you focused on getting things done?
I'm worried about people.
She's very worried about people. She'll forget to do things just because she's so worried about other people. She'll forget to actually,
Eat.
It's true. Someone today actually came up to me and they said, "Can you watch Michelle? I'm not sure if she's eating here in Orlando." In fact, I asked you today, are you hungry? When did you eat last? Oh, I haven't eaten anything today.
I don't remember.
It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and this lady hasn't even eaten.
Because I was taking care of other people.
People-oriented individual.
And I need to take care of people now because they needed me now.
Yeah, and it's true. Well, and here's what's really interesting, and we're not going to go through all of the different styles.
Yeah, you just analyze me.
Yeah, but we're just going to analyze her. I mean, why not? You're here. There's no one else here. So outgoing, reserved, you're outgoing, task-oriented versus people or relationship-oriented. So the letter that would describe Michelle would be I. And the word associated with I is influencing. Whoa! Influencer right here.
Okay.
She uses persuasion. She uses her words to not only get what she wants in life, but to help other people. She persuades people to take steps forward. You've been listening to these episodes with Michelle for a while now, and maybe she's persuaded you to take action in your life. Well, why is that? Why does this bright, shiny personality come out and you just feel connected with her? You want to reach in and be like, "You're my friend, I just want a hug." It's because of her personality. She's a high I. Now, what's also interesting, so with every personality, you have strengths, but strengths, when we lean too hard on them, can actually become a weakness. And this is also really true. And high I's, we're both I's. Now, you're a combination of all the personality, all personality temperaments, you're a combination of all 4. But you lean on 1 to 3 of them more than others. And so it's interesting. So do you know what your secondary one is?
My secondary is
It's a D?
It was equal. It's a D and an S together.
It's a D and an S, which explains a lot. She's in conflict with herself. She wants to be out there. She wants to get things done, but she has a huge heart for people. And so she wants to run really, really fast, but she doesn't want to leave anyone behind. And so she's like, come on, Michelle, we gotta go. We're gonna be late. But I don't want to leave them. I don't want them to be alone.
We need a bus to get everybody with us.
We literally were in the hotel lobby, getting ready to go to dinner. And she looks across the room and she says, he's alone. We need to invite him to dinner. And what does she do? She walks over, her big eye queen walks over. Do you have dinner plans? No. You're coming with us.
Hi, my name is Michelle. You're coming with us.
Yeah. Justin, we've got to know Justin very well over the past 2 days. And Justin is an amazing guy that we never would have met unless this eye right here hadn't been in so much conflict to get things done, to get out to the restaurant, but bring a friend, a new friend along to include others. Now, we talk about strengths. So, right, eyes really great with their words, very persuasive.
Big fault for me, though.
My mother always told me this. Maybe you've heard this too. Maybe your mom's told you this too. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should always listen twice as much as we talk. And the problem, the opportunity for a high I is to listen.
Learn to listen.
To learn to listen.
I became a coach to learn to listen.
Mm-hmm. That was the hardest part for you becoming a coach, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Was learning to listen. And you know what? What's funny? Guess what the hardest part for me was for learning to be a coach?
Yeah.
Listening.
You too.
Me too.
Because my brain is going so much faster when people are talking. I'm like, hurry up, hurry up.
Well, she's outgoing. She processes externally. For her, in order to process, she has to communicate it out. That's why she calls me. She goes, Nathan, I've got all these thoughts in my head. I just don't know what to do with them. And I say, give them to me. Give them to me, and we will do something with them. And she just, okay, it doesn't sound like that. It's more like,
Or it's more like,
that's definitely closer.
yes.
So, but it's interesting though, because you process externally, whereas someone that would be opposite of us, they process internally. And man, it's so wonderful. I still remember to this day, I had come back from a certification training with the model of human behavior, and I thought, man, this would be really, really good to try with my wife. And so I'm explaining everything to her. She's like, oh yeah, that's really great. And you're right, you don't listen. And you overshare. Another problem sometimes that I have and that other eyes have out there. And so we came up with a plan. And when I say we came up with a plan, she came up with a plan. And I said, okay.
You know why? Just like with me and my husband, you tend to pair up with someone who's opposite.
Opposites
Attract.
Guess what else they do? Attack. Because we don't like things that are different from us. But here's the other thing, because if you're thinking, well, I'm gonna get with someone that's the same as me. Birds of a feather flock together, then pluck each other's feathers.
Yes.
There can be conflict in any aspect of life. So we're driving to a dinner. Me and my wife, she comes up with this beautiful plan. If you start oversharing, I'm gonna kick you under the table. I'm thinking, okay, let's go for it.
It's a good plan.
It's a great plan. So we're sitting down, we're having this nice dinner with friends, and evidently I start oversharing. And I get this nice boot to the shin, and immediately I turn, why did you just kick me under the table? I had already forgotten the commitment to the plan.
Squirrel.
But here's the reason why I tell that story. At the end of the day, if we know who the person is that we're communicating with, if we know how to support the person, what's the fuel in Michelle's engine? Her fuel is having fun. She loves to have fun. If she's having fun, she could go for days without eating. I've seen it.
I'm on day 3.
It's a great diet. No, not a great diet. No, not a great
But
diet.
that's why I have friends, like I think you saw Kim pop up earlier, or Marcel popped up earlier on the feed. They both remind me to slow down enough to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan's probably running at Mach 4 with me or Mach 10, where I do. He has, did you eat? I do, no. Did you? He has no answer.
Well, and here's the thing: personalities can mature,
Mm-hmm.
and growth is all about maturing and understanding where you can grow. Which is why you need a coach. Which is why you need someone from the outside to truly pour into you.
They're liking your story. Oh, wait, who's David? Oh, I miss David. Okay. But no, that's so funny. And Catherine joined us and Helene joined us. Apple says hi. Oh my goodness, I can't read all of them on the side because my arms are really short and I can't look up. Oh no.
Oh, did I go the wrong way?
You go too far now.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
There's so much going on right now.
There is. I can't look at all of it.
It's okay.
It's okay. We're all good. And thank you so much for joining us on this live stream. And please share the live stream with a friend because isn't Nathan just the coolest man? I'm so glad that he stumbled into my life as Bartholomew. So here's the thing. When you're in different places or if you meet someone, take the chance to step out of your way, even if you're shy, to smile and say hello to someone else.
Mhm.
Because I would have never met Nathan. And I met him on accident because the old version of me would have never talked to him. I was in that bus and I was alone and I was scared in a new place. The only reason I spoke to him is because he was so outgoing. He said, hi, my name's, what's your name and what are you here? Are you going to the John Maxwell conference? Hi, my name is Bartholomew. I mean, so he came to me. The old me would have just said, hi, my name's Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have never gone further than that. He reached out first, and then I was brave enough to keep laughing with him when I realized that he made a joke with his name. I didn't get offended by it. I thought it was really funny. So you never know who you're going to be with, right? Who you're going to be with. So be the best version of you every day. And it's okay if you're around some loudmouth person in a bus, because he helped me bring out a part of me that I didn't even know existed.
Mm-hmm. And from my side of things, like as because I know I'm a bright light. I see people. As soon as I see those recluses that are, don't look at me, don't talk to me, I'm coming for you. I am coming for. So right now we have like safety protocols because of all the different things that are going on in the world. So we have different color wristbands. Red, stay away. Yellow, like okay, let's fist bump. But green, like okay, like maybe we can get a little bit closer, but not too close. I don't do that well. And it's funny because as we were walking down the halls, I was talking to someone and I said, so if they haven't registered yet and they don't have their wristbands, that means that they're open season, right? They haven't decided, so I just have to give them a hug. No. But you know what's interesting? At the end of the day, there's one principle that I live my life by.
What is that?
Okay, maybe there's more than one principle, but there is one glaringly obvious principle that if you meet me, you will see. And that is that I will always try to encourage and add value to you.
Always.
Always. Prime example of my mentor doing this. I'm sure you guys have heard of my mentor, John Maxwell.
My mentor too.
Our mentor, John Maxwell. I'm helping walk John to his car yesterday.
Oh yes.
And we're outside, we're walking along the sidewalk, and there's a couple cars there, and we're just trying to get John to his car because he's late. And as we're walking down the way, John passes by this black SUV, and he hears, John Maxwell, it's John Maxwell! And John stops, turns back to the car, takes a few steps, back, pops his head inside the window and says, do you guys want a picture? These two little boys jump out of the car. The mom jumps out of the car. Oh my gosh, we love you. This is so amazing. He stopped, turned, took a photo, and that photo changed their life because he spent time to see them, to add value to them.
He heard them.
Mm-hmm.
In a world where so many people feel unseen and unheard, John Maxwell stopped. How often do you do that? How often do you stop in your mass madness where you're running and doing whatever you're doing. You're so busy with your heads in your book or in your computer or your cell phone, whatever it is. Take time to stop. John Maxwell does that. He adds value to the people around him. And as our mentor, we do the same thing.
We walk slowly through the crowd.
Yeah, and share a smile, even if it's just a smile. Even if you're wearing a mask, people can tell when you're smiling because your eyes do this, you know? So it's okay to be the best version of you, even masked or unmasked.
Yeah. So small things that you can do. Years ago, I would have thought, in order to add value to someone, I have to pay for them. Like, I've got to do something big. I've got to buy them coffee, or I've got to buy the entire place coffee. Like, it doesn't have to be big. A good friend of mine who I've known for years was speaking this evening. And last night I saw him practicing, and I saw him nervous, and he was shaking. And I'd never seen him like that. And I walked over to him and I said, hey, I'm super excited to see you tomorrow. And he's like, it's not going to be good. It's not good. And I said, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, all you're here to do is to pour into other people. That's your entire job. And if you just show up and you be who you were created to be, which is something that I truly, truly do believe is one of the most important things that we need to do. Simon Sinek talks about start with why. I like to say, start with who. Who's your who? Who are you? How do you show up in the world? I show up in the world as someone who adds value. So my friend, he's there, he's nervous, and I look at him and I say, I'm so excited to see you. You're going to be amazing. You're going to do so good. And not only that, I could have ended it right there, and that would have been fine. For the next, I saw him do this last night, remember? And for the next 24 hours, when he came to mind, I messaged him, you're awesome. You're going to do great. I saw a small little picture. You've seen those, the motivational picture, like the memes with the words on it. I saw one last night, and I said, that's for him.
Yes.
And I grabbed it, and I sent it to him in a private message. And I cannot even tell you the look that I got from him when he received it. Almost a tear of just relief that someone believed in him before he could even believe in himself, which was done for me, which is a gift that I give to all people around, whether that's my client, whether that's the person behind, the counter getting my coffee, whether that's the server at the restaurant that we're eating at,
Whether if it's a friend
you
haven't seen in a while,
whether it's my daughter, my wife, my son. It's that moment that you decide in your life, I want to be a giver. I want to give. Now, if you don't feel like, oh my gosh, Nathan, I'm just giving. I'm just so tired. If you're giving so much that you're tired, you're not pouring enough into yourself.
you must start with you.
You cannot give that which you do not have. That's why it's so important to grow. If you don't grow, if you don't expand your awareness, if you don't push yourself into new environments and to try new, when was the last time you did something for the first time? When was the last time?
And it could be something as simple as, giving that smile, like gift, as Marcel just says, giving a gift of encouragement, of anything. It could be so small. What Nathan shared with his friend, it wasn't anything big, but it meant so much to him. So think about what we talked about at the very beginning when Nathan talked about his mental shift. When he was going through school and he was going into physical therapy and all these courses, and then he had his giant mental shift when he went to college and went, I'm not going to do so well in this. And he lost all of his belief in himself. He didn't think he was good enough. We walk around with those kind of pains and don't say anything. That little gift of a smile or encouragement, that tiny bit of, I believe in you, can shift everything in someone's day. Nathan knows from personal experience, and I'm quite sure you do too, and I do too, that sometimes we just need one person to believe in us for us to get back up.
Let me tell this one last story.
Please do. We only have like 3 minutes or 2 minutes.
So it was my very first training. I'm at a John Maxwell international training back in 2013, almost 8 years ago.
You're that old?
Yeah. And I'm in the room, and John Maxwell says, find a way to add value to your table. Immediately, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go buy coffee for the entire table. Now, like, I don't have a lot of money, right?
Mhm.
And so I don't have a lot of money. I'm thinking, I'm just going to go. I'm going to get everyone's order. The first person gives me their coffee order. The second person says, I don't drink coffee. The third person, I don't drink coffee. The fourth person, I don't drink coffee. Well, now I don't have anything. And I don't know what to do. So I went back to my hotel room, and I sat in my hotel room. It was about midnight. And I looked over, and right on the little nightstand next to the bed, there was a piece of paper and a pen. And the idea came to my head. I had heard everyone give their story of what they had sacrificed to get where they wanted to be in life right now and where they wanted to go. And I stayed up late. I wrote a personal letter to every single person at that table from what I remembered. And that next day, one by one, I handed each person their note as I was passing in the hall, as they were sitting down, as they were having food. And I didn't think it was a big thing. It was, it's just a note. What's a note going to do?
It's huge.
Fast forward 5 years. I'm at an airport. And I hear a familiar voice. I turn around, and it's one of the gals that was at my table. And she comes over to me, and she gives me a big hug. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. I think about you fairly often. My husband actually wonders who you are. And I laugh, and I go, why do you think of me often? I carry the note that you wrote to me. And whenever I feel like I'm not enough and that I'll never reach my dreams, I pull it out and I look at it. In fact, it's in my purse right now. I carry it with me everywhere. Something so small can change the world. You may not feel like you can do something big in the world. It's one thing you doing that can change the world. Just like Michelle getting on a bus, talking to me, our worlds will never be the same.
Never again. So, if you'd like to learn more about Nathan, go to nathancookcoaching.com. Connect with him. Reach out to him on social media, but definitely reach out to him through his website. He's brilliant. He's amazing. He's wonderful. I'm a little biased, but I do know that he coaches me very often as I coach with him. And we reciprocate a lot. And I want to thank you all for joining us here on Mental Shift today. And please share the replay of this live stream because we're about to go off the air. So be the best version of you every day. Go give a gift of a smile. It doesn't have to be big, but pass it because so many people need hope and love and peace in their souls. So until next time, please join me. My name is Michelle Mras on Mental Shift every Tuesday night in the United States, 7:30 Mountain Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We're Eastern right now.
Yeah.
And if you're in the Philippines, Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. So until next time, my name is Michelle Mras, and this is
Nathan Cook.
And this is Mental Shift. We'll see you next week. Be well.